Day 18, we're back in the shop, and as you can tell, it looks a little bit different in here. We came in Saturday, the customer came and picked up all 50 of those pieces for that oak, that piece that we did all gray. Stay tuned to a future video this week. The customer's gonna send me some finales once it gets installed. Really excited to see that one. They were super pleased with the color and really appreciative of the work that Ivan and I did to make that happen. Another stuff that's going to happen this week, you can still see there's some finished products that are still here. The Eames chair is going to be going to the upholstery shop either today or tomorrow. The customer ended up deciding to choose that darker gray leather. I can't wait to see what that looks like. We have these bookshelves. You're going to see me this morning put the brass back on there, and we're going to start figuring out like how it goes back together, because I think the customer wants me to install it upon delivery. We're going to see like that. So as we work our way kind of back over there, we still have that desk that's getting, or that dining table. Waiting to hear from that customer about shipping. They're in LA. I think they were a little bit delayed with all the fires. Not a big deal. We'll get it out of here soon. You're going to see me first this morning cleaning up this little pedestal table. We're going to clean and polish this brass back up, tape up and cover all the black. Then we're going to detail it, oil it, make sure it's ready to go. It's got the same owner as the bookshelves and that guitar pick table. So I want to finish that at the same time. As we work our way down the shop here, these chairs that came in about 7 or 8 days ago, I'm going to start gluing those up. That way we can get them oiled, back to the customer in just a few days, get them out of here, make some room. Once Ivan, he came in over the weekend as well, stripped this massive dining table I was telling you about. You can see here it's got 2 drop leaves, 5 leaves, and then the 2 leaves that are actually on the table. This darn thing's going to be probably 10 to 12 feet long once we put it back together. It's a massive dining table, 4 legs, really dark and ugly black like stain they had put on it. We're going to bring it back, I believe, to that original mahogany color. Like, we have to get it sanded down. You're going to see that throughout the week. So I said, without further ado, let's get back to work. Okay, the first thing I wanted to do was get this guy buttoned up. We're going to clean this brass up, but I don't want to scratch any of this black. This black powder coat is my assumption, but we're going to just take a little bit better care of it. I'm going to put the green tape around the perimeter, so that way when I'm rubbing on this edge, I'm not actually going to be damaging anything on this black. The steel wool that we'll be using can scratch up that black finish and just make it look a little bit cheaper. And it's powder coat, so I shouldn't, I'm not going to just spray paint over it to kind of fix it. There's a process for everything, and this process they use the powder coat. I'm going to go one more width just to make sure I have enough space. I'll grab the steel wool and the brasso, and we'll get cleaning on it here right now. Okay, I got the products that I need to get this cleaned up. Some steel wool, some brasso, and what I'm going to do, just put a little bit on the steel wool. We'll go right here, and just slowly start scrubbing off all that old tarnish. You can already start seeing it working its way off real quick. Very little elbow grease. I'm not pushing too much pressure on it. Just letting the steel wool and the brasso do the work. Get a rag. So you can see already that's already a different color from here. We're back to the brass. We're going to work its way up. We're going to probably polish it by hand without the steel wool. We'll use just a rag, but the steel wool is a good one to start, just to get going and get that initial layer of the tarnish off, and then we could polish it up from there using just a rag. So now, you can see this side here is all clean, but I'm going to show you why I use that tape for this little section right up here in the top. So as you can see, if I was starting to rub this section here without, you can see right here the black already. If you're doing that, you're going to be kind of scratching this powder coat and damaging it. So putting just that little piece of tape took us 30 seconds to do it, will help us clean and protect all the hard work that someone else did. We don't want to ruin it. So you can see it's kind of hard to tell. You can see right here on the top now it's all shiny and brass. I still have to work this side here with the tarnishing. Same thing we'll have to hit inside of here. But as you can see, I don't need to tape up this little black strip inside because the steel wool is not going to hit it. If it gets a little bit of dirt from the brasso, some dust, I can come in here after with the rag, clean it down, wipe it down, and then when we wipe this all clean with the oil, just to protect it, wipe it down for inspection, then we'll be good to go. It'll be nice and clean all around. The brass will be shiny, and the customer will be happy. We'll get it out of here this week. All right, we got it all polished up. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to remove the tape, go back, and then we're going to clean it with the WD-40 again, just to kind of clean the black, get it all protected. And like I said, it'll just give it a nice little luster to it to be protected. I'm just going to do, like I said, just a light mist. And then it'll all kind of get spread around once I wipe it with this rag. WD-40 has so many different use cases. This is one of them that I like to do. So as you can see now, it's kind of giving that black a nice little luster, and obviously it's going to protect it a little bit better too. The harder part, we're going to get inside these little cracks as well. Make sure that these get cleaned and a little bit of the cleaner inside of there. So we'll go around, we'll kind of spread it with this rag, then we'll get a clean rag, dry it off one or two good times, and call the customer, tell them these pieces are ready to go. Okay, got that all buttoned up. We'll just let that sit here and dry. What I'm going to do is replace my gloves because I really don't want to have that WD-40 on my hands. Kind of get them to dry off, a little shaky, get them a little sweaty. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to start working on these chairs. We have 8 of these and then 2 of these other antique style chairs that you'll see here in a minute. Ivan's already taken off all of the fabric, all the little nails. Now we have to just get them glued up so we can get them repaired and get them in the booth. But what we're going to do with these, you can see on these angles here, some of the legs are a little loose. Not loose enough where we could break them apart and put yellow glue and clamp it. So what I'm going to use on a lot of these chairs is the super glue, the activator, and then the wax wash remover to run the glue in some of these cracks that have a little bit of play. And that way we could come back, clean them, re-oil them. These will look refreshed and much better than the way they look now, but they're not going to have any of that creak that you can kind of see. And if you look real closely here, see if I get my hand out of the way, you can see like that joint there is busted. So I said some of these are going to need some of the thicker glue, but for the most part we're going to use red glue. And I said let me show you how I do that. We got everything we need to set, all set up. Glasses, very important, some goggles. I've had glue squirt in my eyes on situations like this. Had to go to the ER, had my eyes cleaned out. Luckily, no damage, but that's just I was lucky. So like I said, you can see on this joint here, see how it's really light on the end? That's the end of the dowel exposed. It's supposed to go down like that and pressed in. So what I'm going to do is lift it up, get the wax wash ready to go. And then we're going to use the red super glue, which is more on the liquid. And just sit here. This takes a lot of time, but just sit here slowly. Let it kind of drip in. Wipe it with wax wash. Maybe do another pass. Let it kind of, wiggle it. But what we want to do is protect it, cover it when you press it down, because that's when I got shot in the face. Press it down and still keep pressure on it. And I'm going to actually do one more little drip of the glue just to make sure. Because once I spray the activator, we really don't want to come back to this for, maybe 20 minutes because that activator still may be on the surface. And then next time I pour glue on, it can activate and just create a big mess. We're trying to keep this as clean as possible because we're not doing a full refinish. We're just doing like a glue up and detail on these antique chairs. And we're going to work our way around on the same plane, because if I flipped it over right now, some of this glue could drip out. So I'll kind of spin it around here. I'll check this joint right now. While that's sitting up and drying, by the time I finish this, we can start moving it and flipping it over. Just one joint at a time. It'll take a little bit of effort, but we'll be here for a few hours getting this knocked out. Okay, as you can see in the background, we've got 5 of them completely ready. They're done. We just need to oil them. But I wanted to come on here, and I see so many of these, happening on social media. These little cross member blocks fall off. These are really unique because usually they have a staple, a screw, or a nail holding it in place. This one didn't. This one was just strictly glue, and over time that glue dries out and then they fall off. This was the worst because I had 3 of them actually come off. A couple of them there had a single, not that hard to repair. But what I'm going to do is grab my Boss Dog glue. I'm just going to put a light spread inside and on top of these grooves. I'm going to make sure to do both sides, because this is just going to keep everything strong and tight. That's part of the reason why these chairs got so loose, is that the bond broke here. They started rocking, it started compounding, then the front legs started getting loose. It's just a compounding effect. So get the glue in there. I'm going to tap it in to the best of my ability. Get my rag as well, kind of wipe off any excess. Then I'm going to actually replace it and make these better than before and add a screw so that way this won't happen again. The customer's going to keep this in her house for quite a few years. This is like some chair she really loves. So I tell her that this is what we should probably do to keep it strong, keep it tight. Thing is, with this hard wood that these are built out of, you got to be careful because I've already broken one head of these, these screws. So it's a really tough one. It's just more of just taking it slow, don't over tightening. Use a nice little countersink bit, so takes a little bit off the top. So when we replace this head, it goes in nice and tight, nice and clean. There you go. And you see when it did that, it pulled out some more. A little bit more of the glue oozed out. I'm going to continue that on the other 3 legs, or the other 2 legs, and we'll get this one down the line. This one's ready to go tomorrow. Get oiled up. All right, we're coming towards the end of the day, and I just want to get these shelves put back together, get the hardware on so I can figure out how it goes back in the customer's gallery, making sure that I know how it works. I didn't take it apart, so I'm going to have to do the math and the logistics of how it goes back together in the wall. First, though, I'm going to put the hardware. It all got repolished over at Normandy Metal Refinishers. Everything's nice and shiny again. You can see them across. Looks really good against this finished piece. What we're going to do, just carefully, little tiny screwdriver, little tiny screws. We're going to slowly just put these back in, because these I did take apart, because when it got dropped off, these were still in the little shelves. So this is something I remember. But remember, I don't think I had posted about it, but these were really damaged. A lot of damage here. A lot of these we have to re-drill, and I think we're going to have to do it right here. So I'll put the good one in first. We had to use a lot of super glue and then epoxy, so the holes, some of these holes got filled and and backfilled with the glue. So it's not easy to get these screws back in. So what I'll do now is I'll get the one, set it in place, take my drill bit, go in here, and just same thing, just slowly kind of clean it out. I've already kind of done about 5 or 6 of them, so I know what to do, the depth. You just go slowly, because these are little tiny, and they're old screws, so you really want to make sure you don't break them off. One more little turn. And just like that, these are all secured. These 4 shelves are ready to go. I'll probably move them over here, put a blanket down so I can do the last 2 and finish up those tonight, and then we'll get out of here. All right, I'm gonna finish up these shelves. I've got about 10 more minutes before I have to get out of here, but I just wanted to come on here. Thank you for being here once again. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, tell your friends about this page, and just help me spread the word of this Revive and Refine Above the Grain video vlog. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow.